Hello everyone, I'm so happy that you found me, and I'm so happy that I found you. You're always welcome here to my channel and my postings, and as I believe it's divine direction that you stopped and clicked on that button to listen to my video. It's divine timing. It's a timely word that you need it right now. May not spark anything today, but as your brain twists and mull it over and meditate, you come into a situation, you say, hey, this information can be applied here. So I'm just so thankful. And while you're here, hit the subscribe, the like, the thumbs up, that notification button. Encourage others to subscribe, share, and leave comments. I do not just want to be in a dialogue, someone that's telling something, that's giving out something. I want to be in a dialogue. I said I didn't want to be in a monologue. That's me by myself giving out. I want to be in a dialogue, which is an exchange of communication, ideas, feelings, thoughts, philosophies, and worldviews. I appreciate you so much for taking a moment to click on here. And since I'm a little long-winded on subjects, if it's looking like my video will hit the 25-minute mark, I will make a part 2. So it's not to have an hour-long, drawn-out video. I will give it in small bites to be digested. So we'll see on that. This can be part 1. And if it's a part 2, I will introduce it as such. Okay, if you have been following me, and if you notice, I talk a lot of on women's issues, what womanhood is, how women are seen and valued in the world, and was the definition of our womanhood quite 100%, or had it been tampered with to put us in a position of inferiority? I do a lot of things on the male, on emasculation, masculinity, head of the household, spiritual leader, and the problems that our black males are having. You're totally feeling not appreciated, not valued in this climate, and some of that reaches way back to slavery, and then just fear of manhood because of our genetic buildup of strength, a tower strength, strapping muscles, our ability to fall and rise. We are very threatening men. Black men, you are very threatening to the fiber of the United States. I will say the United States, and how you can excel so fast and reach goals so quickly if the opportunity is given. And I think as I ran across some of these blogs about red pill men, blue pill men, I see that there's a certain amount of bitterness that is starting to seep into the spirit, heart, soul, and mind of men. That there is a killer. To have bitterness, hatred, and just a state of constant agitation and dismissed feeling within yourself. It just breeds, it's just a swamp for more and more bacteria, scum, and slime to go. Soon it becomes that the outside was affecting you so much. Now you've turned the look from the outside and you're looking inward now, saying, if this would be, and you're constantly putting that in your brain, and it just keeps you in a state of just agitation. And I say agitation at the lowest spectrum to rage, and sometimes that's misdirected, misplaced, not seen clearly. You become fogged. When you start attacking your own inner self, saying I must point to the war tools, you start becoming pumped up for war. I've been in war. I fought in the first Gulf War in Saudi Arabia. And when you're in war, your chemical makeup, your thought process, the stealing of your spirit is different. It is prepared to attack. The enemy can be anything. There's no limit. You don't take anything out of the scope that can be an enemy to cause you harm. So I feel that the black male are in that fight range scenario, just living, trying to be him, from the police to profiling to women. Like you say, it is true. Women do a lot of destruction in relationships, both partners do a lot of harm to each other, or it wouldn't be so hard. And as you see, you're not the only one. Red pill men, you are not the only one struggling in relationships. It is part of the process. And to not have the struggle is two people that need to be like-minded. The Bible says, be yoked with each other, have the same views on rearing children, have the same views of work ethics, have the same view on finances, have the same view on religion. And nobody does that in relationships. It's, oh baby, you so fine, I never felt this way before, you make me feel this. Oh, the sex is so good, I enjoy you, you look so good, every time I walk out I have you on my arm and you're wonderful. And the woman's like, oh, you so strong and you so manly, I feel protected, I feel safe. Look at you, how much money you're able to make and bring into our household. All of that superficial garbage, everything the Lord said will fall away. It's the only thing we're targeting on. This right here. Men said, understand women. And I'm like, women, understand. If you are dating someone and you plan a date, get a blanket. Put it out there on the beach, on the grass, in the park, something where there's nothing going on. You and this person you strongly like. Don't bring a radio. Don't bring your TV, whatever the little video pass. Do not get on your phone for entertainment. If you and that person, with not calling Johnny, Terry, or look at here, look at this. If you and that person you like cannot have conversation for 2 hours without you falling asleep, or I'm bored, or let's go do something else. You have to add something to you and to you and that person to make it sparkle, to make it dance, to make it exciting. If you and that person cannot sit there and enjoy each other, find each other stimulating mentally, intellectually, talk about things in current events. You think that's stupid, right? Nobody cares about what's going on. But I guarantee you, if you cannot hold a conversation with that person you say I'm so attracted to for 2 hours without an outside interference and force that they can't see you closely, intimately, nothing but you and who you are. And if you sit there and stare and have blank spaces, looking up in the sky, trying to figure out what to say, you need to think about the relationship. So before we ever get to women are manipulating men for things, sex or whatever, because in this beginning you shouldn't even be having sex yet. You don't even know if you and the person are compatible. So sex isn't even on the table yet. So if you can't do that for 2 hours, maybe you two don't belong to each other. Now, it's not just a one-time check. I would say do it once a month to see where you at. Because more than likely you aren't interested in anything she's interested in, and you don't have a hobby, you don't have anything outside. I'm getting a coin and I'm trying to spend it as soon as I get it. So that will cut down a lot of this back and forth about how bad he treated me, how bad she did me. Sit with the person and try to know who you're giving yourself to sexually for 3 and 4 months before you find out you've been used. You creating your own heartache. You creating your own heartbreak. And then pointing fingers everywhere. What made me decide to do this video is because I saw videos saying, get yourself a high level female. These are ways to find out if this is a high level female. What the crap does that mean? She got the latest style, the latest hair. She goes to church. What you say, she's not running around with 3 and 4 men? If a woman not running around with 3 and 4 men make her high value, that is a low bar. Because like I tell my daughters, I told them that about getting the blanket and sit out there talking 2 minutes. If he shows no interest in your hobbies and your goals and stuff, you just wasting your time. Move on. Don't start none, won't be none. Correct? Stop starting these. I fell in love with you from your booty, because you don't know nothing about their insides and their condition of their spirit to get condition of their soul. You count everything you can find. A biblical woman is hard to find, and you don't even pray with. Hold her hand and pray. And I'm not talking about praying for the homeless, praying for the starving. I'm saying praying for this woman you would love to be yours. Dear Lord, help me to see her insides, her heart. Let her see that I care about her emotions. I care about her mental state, and women can do the same thing. So we don't need to do all of this crying of this didn't work out, this didn't work out. You didn't have any start, no plan, no decision, no philosophy, except for she don't sleep around. I tell my daughters, until you are married, you are free to date as many men as you like. Don't be sitting yourself somewhere secluded in a corner for this man as he try to figure out if you are high value, or to try to figure out he don't like the stop. Men, this advice works for you too. Get yourself busy. Have something to do. Have something to talk to the woman about that you want to have sex with 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 times a day. And I saw that they want to have, this is a video how some of you aren't having multiple sexual encounters with women. That person should never be spoke to by a woman. That his plan for him, his spirit, his heart, his soul, his emotion is the number of sex partners. There's no depth. There's no character. There's no spiritual leadership in that. That is no goal orientation for future. That is no sustainability for your old age planning as you go from a strapping 20-year-old who can get 50 women to that 35-year-old man whose body's starting to lose its tone. And then I see that the alpha male knows the importance of keeping his body toned. It's important to get anybody. People like healthy people. It's not as superficial as you think. Let me start from my beginning point, because I done went on a rant here and I haven't even started with number 1. Okay? So I'm not angry at men. I'm just passionate about this. How we interact with each other's spirit and mind and emotions. It is not in a kind manner. It's not kind. It's just not kind. And if you don't give out kindness, you are not going to receive kindness. If you are not a top-level man, you will never get a top-level woman. And if you see you on the 5th runaround with a materialistic, manipulative, greedy woman, you need to check yourself, because evidently they are what you are attracted to. And so stop beating them. Stop beating them up. If you're on your 5th go-round with a woman like that, that's what you want. And it's not only what you want, it's like attracts like. They say opposites attract. No. Like attracts like. One will have dominant features that the other wish they had. Theirs are lower than they want them to be. And this person has it in 100-fold, and it makes this person happy. This is what they would love to be, have intelligence, a commanding presence, overt personality, a go-getter. This person has it, but it's limited. They have it in supplies 10%, and here you are at 105%. They are mesmerized by you. Vice versa. This woman is family-oriented. She takes care and watch out and nurtures. She cleans her home. She cooks. She takes care of her health. You have that in you too. That's who you are. You are a nurturing spirit. You are one that cares about that. You may have that at 20%, and she has it at 100%. Each person is a reflection. You get a person that talks, and this person never say a word. Why are they with this person that talks? They wish they could talk. They wish they had that flow. They wish it was so smooth for them. So they are mesmerized by your ability to do that. It's not opposites attract. It only looks opposite. but it's similar attract. And that's what it is. And then it said that one thing you love about that person, as time goes on, you hate it. You hate it. It mesmerized you at first because it was the part of you missing. Then as conflicts in life go on, you see, being able to talk in crowds and bullshit and make friends is not of the utmost important. Now you want to trade it out for something else more important. So we have to understand our natures. And if you really want to understand your nature, you need to look to the animal kingdom. The male is the most colorful of all. Excuse me while I get my little cup, drink my little water with my little shoe. What do you say? Real women love shoes. Take a moment and look at God's creation, the DNA of the earth that does not change, that stands since time began until time ends. How God put them the course of action and everything, that the flower knows when to bloom, when to die, the rains know when to fall. The lightning knows to occur to give plants nitrogen to bloom in spring. There's an ongoing beat and pattern that is not interrupted, that stays until the Lord says for it not. And in that pattern, the male species is the most colorful. Well, it's the opposite in the human species. We put on all kinds of things to attract the man. But in nature, it's the man that do all the work to attract. He do dances, he do calls, he do stress to show his power. He works for that female. He puts in the work to get her. And the female say, this male can do the most. He's the strongest. I want his DNA for my children to carry on the species and to have a healthy group of offsprings. It is the man, peacock, full of color. It's just horrible to even look at the female. Look at the turkey, just beautiful. They show strength. Even the insects lift heavy. The dung beetle lifts humongous chunks of feces. The wetter, the newer, the bigger, the better. She knows that he can go out and make a home and care for the offsprings. But with the curse of the human in the Garden of Eden, we see a flip, don't we? The animals was made first, the birds was made first, everything. Those men were spectacularly plumaged. It was their job to attract. And then in the larger animal kingdom, the man shows his strength by whooping up all the other males, running them off, getting them away, and that impressed. Men had to do, women had to be. Now it is changed. Women have to do. We live in $1 billion makeup industry, $1 billion hair industry. We're bleaching our skin to be whiter. We got our fingernails painted. Every opportunity. And we do have the dance. The monkey, the baboon, have the female, when she comes in heat, her butt gets vibrant colors, swell up so the male can see, I'm ready for sex. And now in the last, 10 years, the female butt is the calling card for men. The female butt has been a calling call for men. They're getting injections. They're getting this. They're getting that. Their butts are abnormally huge. And then they have these thighs under them. And that is not balanced. They have liposuction. They have them ribs removed. That tiny waist, that humongous ass is the calling card of sex. When you talk about high quality, you know all the calls that are attracting you. You almost can't fight it. It's pheromones. It's, look, men are sexually turned on by their eyes. Women through their ears. That's why y'all say men don't have any game. And that's a horrible word to use, game. Why is it a game? Don't come over here playing with me. I am not a toy. And that's what women need to say when men talk about they got game. You say, stop it. Turn the corner. Go to Toys R Us or Walmart section for the toys to play with. I am not a toy for game. How ridiculous. The use of words matter. The philosophy behind words matter. The intent behind words matter. People are slinging around words because this is what the Gen X do, or the whatever group Xers were, and this is how we are. Words matter. I don't care how advanced your generation is, when it's booming or what, baby. Words matter. And we are not using any nice words, but yet we expect niceness to come falling and flying towards us. You are only going to get what you put out. And men, if you are irritated, hostile, and bitter, and that's what's going out of you, you're going to receive it back in some shape or form. And I say, think of the boys in boyhood who are listening to you, man, who say, I pattern after this male. This male is my example. And what is at the forefront of your life is sitting and saying, women are horrid. Women are elevated more than you, son. Women get things. Women use sex. Women, you are only instilling in that boy, in his boyhood, the ability to whine. There is so much more to do and occupy your time than continually going on and on and on about women taking from you, women making you beta, women won't let you do this. There are young men who are developing into men that are learning how to whine and to point the finger, pointing the finger. And these red pill, blue pill saying we're taking action. Can't you take action without those words? Can't your action say, man, let's get into physical shape while we're waiting on that one woman that we want, that we find worthy to date? Men, let us focus on some hobbies to interact in a man's space together while we continue to wait and look for that woman that is we want to mother our children, to be our wife, to be in our home in a loving environment. Quit getting these women and trying to squish them, shape them, and mold them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. You should be okay as a human being. If she never came along, that you could still have a fulfilled and enjoyable life. Long as you make intercourse first and then hoping she's a nice person second, your blueprint for life, you're going nowhere. Without anyone else, you're responsible for your happiness. You alone are responsible for your successes. You alone are responsible for your view and philosophy on life that you would like if you ran into people. And still, hopefully as you age, you become wise and you can give out wisdom to anyone, any age, any sex, any economic stand. You are limiting yourself so much just sitting in here stewing in your perception of all womanhood. If it's that horrible and painful, step back from it. Become a fuller man that can engage other youth and give them something. But quit. Y'all are a generation of teaching young men how to whine and point fingers. And I hate to even say that's probably in your DNA code, because that was the great fall of man in the Garden of Eden. Man stood there, Adam stood there as the serpent enticed his wife, his woman, to eat from the tree that God said you would surely die from. The serpent had a full conversation of persuading Eve to take a bite. Adam stood right there and watched this stranger, this enemy, come after his wife into their area and telling her lies to encourage her to do bad. And he didn't protect her. He didn't step in and say, yo, man, leave my woman alone. He didn't say, get out of here with that. I'll whoop your ass. I'm doing what God said doing. He said not a word and stood there and saw his wife taken down. And the only thing she had to do was turn to him and say, here, honey, bite this. And he did. He didn't put up any resistance. He didn't say, you can act like that, but I'm not acting like that. God looked me in my eye personally and told me not to. I'm not doing that. That is not for me. I'm sorry you did. He said nothing. He ate the damn apple. Here, honey. And he ate it. Then, when they hid, and God said, what is going on? He said, that woman you gave me. Look at here. That woman you gave me told me to eat. He threw her under the bus. She did it to him. Then he threw God under the bus, said, you gave her to me. It's your fault. You gave her to me. Do you understand? He didn't stand up and protect. He didn't stand up and save. He did not fight the enemy. He was mute in his life. And then when someone say, how could you? What happened? He said, you did this. This is the only person that pointed their finger at God and told him, this is your dirty work. So maybe it is in your DNA not to be an alpha male. If we're going to say woman was the fall of all of humanity, Eve, we must look at Adam and say he was the fall of manhood. All right. I'm going to stop here, people, but we're going to do a part 2. And I hope you come back for part 2 because it's going to be good. It's absolutely going to be good. And I thank you so much, absolutely so much, for taking the time to listen to my video. Like I said, comment, share, subscribe, because this is my vein. Hallelujah. This is my vein. It's nothing made up or fake. I love the black man, and you can see that in a lot of things I do and say. As you follow me, I do not have any grievance towards them. What I look at is I want a light to shine on your spirit and your spirit to be a light. And black men have a lot of things to be beat down by, but he still has some more strength he needs to tap into, and we need to encourage that. But we understand, and we don't need to call people low life, because the Lord loves us all equally, and you are not going to be able to say who should get in heaven and who she can't be. So we need to tread lightly when we do put people down to the bottom and say they are low level. We don't have that right for God's creation. And the same thing as women. We can't say all men are dogs. God created the animal dog. He knew what he wanted his definition of dog to be. So he created a 4-legged creature that is a dog. Stop showing disrespect for God's creation of dog and man. Stop it. We women, stop it. Men are not dogs. They may have men that have difficulty making wise and good choices. They may be those that can't resist sex because they haven't matured into another level, and they tempt it all the time, and they have sexual quests and conquests all the time. But quit calling men dogs. They're no more dogs than black people are monkeys. Don't disrespect God's creation. He knew exactly what he wanted, the parts and pieces and mindsets he wanted the dog to have and man. All right, stay with me, subscribe. Like I say, hit the notification button. I need more subscribers. I love talking to you. All right, so come back with me on part 2, and I will move on from there. Thank you.